No, there we are. No, got a nap. Nope, this way. There we go. It's hard when you get the thing flipped.
Yeah. Was it still crooked or not as bad?
Not as bad.
Oh,
I'll move over.
no, I'm okay. You just gotta fit in with my hair.
Okay.
You know what the most exciting part about this is?
You sit down?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was sitting, but still.
It's cooler over here compared to what I was doing earlier, so I was sweating. My hair's all sweaty. My makeup was running. And she's freezing.
I know. I don't know why I can't get warm.
I was in the back of the warehouse picking up things that.
Probably because I'm inside. I haven't been inside. Maybe.
Yeah,
it's
were
cool
outside.
in here.
It
though.
is. It feels great. We're happy that we don't have to turn the air on yet. Who's on there?
Had a couple of people.
Tony's.
We can just pre-talk before we talk. What'd you do? Well, we had the big thing this weekend.
Oh yeah, our first flea market this Saturday. It turned out nice. We had several vendors. Some of them were vendors from the mall, and some of them were people that don't have a booth here, which is great. That's what we want, different people. And everybody had a good time. I know I was out there quite a bit. And
how many vendors did we have?
We only had 6, I think, but they all brought lots of stuff and spread their things out. They had lots of items. And we had a good crowd, like in the morning. We started at 8, but I would say around 8:30 we started getting some customers, people that were looking around, and didn't do too bad. We kind of had a little bit of a lull around 11:30, I think, and then it got real busy again. So yeah, and so everybody was pleased with the turnout, and we had some people that hadn't been in the mall in years. There's a few people that had never been here. They were just traveling through and saw the flea market. Actually, a couple of them I heard them talking to the girls up here when I was in here. And
so we have another one though in 2 weeks.
21st, yep.
2 weekends. The 21st, June Saturday.
21st, yeah.
So they're always going to be the first and third Saturdays of the month on the south side of the mall entrance.
Right. And we did take our signs down because we had wind calling for, and I don't know how long they'll hold us out.
But we have room for vendors who want to come in for the following weekends. And what kind of things are we accepting?
Everything and anything.
Yeah.
Anything you have.
Yep. So if
Don't
you
care.
Generally would set up even for farmers market type thing,
Yeah.
you're more than welcome to come on over to ours if there's not any spots open or you missed the deadline that way. I know our contract says to at least give us 2 weeks in advance as far as committing to setting up, but we understand people do like to watch out for weather and so on. So don't hesitate to reach out if you're thinking about setting up. It's a great opportunity for you to sell anything and everything, as Angie said, and we accept it all. So you just maintain your space from 8
to 2.
Is it 8 or 8:30?
8 to 2. Most of the vendors were here before 7, so I was here before 7, and they were setting up. Everybody was pretty much done by 8, so it worked out good. I think one of them came a little bit later, but they were, got it set up quick. So yes, and it was fun. Everybody kind of talked. And had a good time.
My kids came and they bought stuff.
Right.
Darcy's still carrying her little puppy around. Okay, so what's this? What are we doing today? This is episode 6. We've had it for 6 weeks already.
And this one's called Kick It.
Yep. Kick it or keep it.
Kick it or keep it.
And
what does that mean?
We are going to look at some things in general, a vintage, antique, and collectible world, right?
Right.
Mom made the list. I came up with the podcast idea, so I think I know what she's going to talk about and whatever. We didn't really talk about it. We just said, "Yep, that's what we're doing." She came up with a a thought list for us so we didn't ramble too much for you guys. But we're going to go through some things and say, yep, keep it or kick it. So we'll kind of go over what the item is. She'll say it, I'll say it, whatever, and then we'll talk about why you would keep it or kick it, right?
Yeah. And when you're talking keep it or kick it, you're talking about vendor sales. Is that what you mean? Like,
elaborate.
Is it keep it or kick it if you're in a mall setting? And
as
should you bring
as
it
a
in?
vendor keep it or kick it,
Yeah.
or you as a customer
That's what I'm at.
buy it or leave it?
You're talking about
vendors.
yeah.
I'm in general.
Like, what would you bring in here to sell?
Almost in this category, you're the same person because you're both a buyer at one time.
Right.
But is it worth buying? Could you resell it? Or should you just leave the item alone?
Right.
Okay.
Don't pick it up.
So not generally are we saying, as a customer, please do not purchase these items.
No, that's not what we're saying.
We are saying these items just generally don't sell right now, possibly, or this is why, or as a vendor, I wouldn't put your investments in
that particular item.
Yeah.
Sort of item. And the reason we thought of this is because we get this question all the time. Well, what kind of things are selling? Because the vendors, they unfortunately don't always look around to see what's in the mall, and they really don't work behind the counter. We have a few that do, but if you're not working, you don't realize the items that do sell.
Yeah. So as a vendor, this episode will help you learn. Maybe if you do have some of these things in your booth, you could lower prices on them, or maybe pass them by next time, or something like that. But just because we say that today doesn't mean that next week this isn't going to be a popular thing.
Right.
That's what's really cool about the vintage collection.
Right.
And
because it changes quickly sometimes.
Always,
yeah.
So I was thinking about this driving in, and I was like, hey, what was really popular when we first took over in 2022 that we don't sell anymore? What was
you remember?
What do you think an item was?
Well, I don't say. I can think of one thing that we don't sell a ton of anymore. I'm going to say Pyrex.
I know. I'm so sad about that, actually.
And it's not because we don't have it here. I just think that it's not quite as like gung ho as. So
I would say MCM in general as a category, but that's not true everywhere.
No, I'm saying because at the other mall, that's still a thing.
Yeah.
So we get lots of people.
It definitely depends on where you are set up in areas. So we're talking what we see here at this location.
And I'll bring up whether or not what it's doing.
Just the difference of okay, well this is not doing this well, and maybe this is why, but it is doing well.
If you have a question and you're watching and I can't read it, but you can pull it up. If you have a question and we don't see it, we'll answer it later. But if you have a what does this sell at all? And we didn't bring that up, then we'll answer you when we see the question. So yeah, there's some things that just go in and go out as quickly as they can. So
one thing that I and you might have these on your list. I didn't look at the list yet.
She didn't on purpose. Be influenced.
I don't like to pregame.
She just likes to make it flow, and I like
just
a little
party
structure.
Hard from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that I remember when we were going through tons and tons of booths and helping them merchandise and things, where we had two different things. We had a lot of hens on nest.
We did.
And we had a lot of uranium glass.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, 2023 came and all those things were gone.
I'm telling you what, the hens on the nest are super, super popular.
Now.
They're even more popular than they were 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like all of a sudden, the next year and everything that I remember being an abundance of oh, we have a lot of those. They don't really move kind of thing. Shot out of the room the next year.
TikTok and social media in general has a huge influence on that. Yeah, and Etsy sales.
Yeah, so we always tell our vendors, you can't just look only within what you see in live person. You have to look what the collectors in the world of the internet are looking at as well, because that now, just because you don't live near or in Portland, Indiana, or in Centerville, Indiana, or wherever your favorite antique mall place is, doesn't mean that you can't get it. Because most of those vendors also have an outlet online usually.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're missing out.
Right.
No, not to say I don't want you to come in here and purchase, But it is also a really good opportunity for you as a vendor even to sell um, online some of your items and then connect it to where else you're located in the world. And that draws attention to the
Mm-hmm.
place you're in, and then they come in and you have better sales even. So
Yeah.
advertising is a whole different ball game and that kind of thing than it used to be. It's not just put up a poster. Now it's where else are you selling and connecting?
Well, we have a problem with putting up a poster because we're always online advertising, and it's like, oh, we didn't put one in the front. What?
Yeah,
We're
physical paper.
physical
Well,
things
you also
sometimes.
people don't read, so
I know.
you have to really kind of serve it to them
Yeah.
for supper for them to read it.
To see it, right? I get
Yeah,
that.
so we
Yeah.
got a couple people watching. Like I said, if you got questions as we go along, go ahead and reach out to us and we'll try to respond. And I think our sound and everything is good. Our lighting is okay today. If you're watching this not live, we stream on Apple Podcasts. I was just uploading episodes. Apple Podcasts. YouTube is harder to stream to.
Is
I
it
am getting them uploaded,
struggling?
but I'm learning.
Yeah.
I hate learning this stuff.
Yeah. This stuff
And
is hard. The internet world when you're
streaming is a
streaming
different
is a
world for
different
me,
world. Yeah.
which is really sad to say because that means like I'm the
You're getting
generation that
old now.
doesn't understand how to do things. So Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, and
Instagram. Do we stream on
I
Instagram?
don't think you can stream on Instagram.
You can.
Where else? There was another platform that we were live
TikTok.
on. So anyways, that will continue to grow. You can catch us replay that way, or you can always catch us replay here on Facebook. And we're trying to get those episodes uploaded to the events pages when we get out. So yeah. So what's our?
So you
I
mentioned the
mentioned the
very
first
first
one.
one that I
Imagine
had
that.
on here was uranium glass.
What is it?
What is it? It's green glass. Well, and there's more than one kind. Okay, certain glass has the uranium in it that makes it glow, and there's other types of I don't know what you call them, elements that make certain glasses glow. Like there's custard glass that turn and it looks whitish yellow and then it turns green when you put the black light on it. The green glass is green; it just looks green until you put the black light on it and it glows. And there's all types. And some people do this. That's all they collect. There's a couple that come in here that have purchased a ton from us over the years, and now they also have a space at Centerville too now.
Yeah.
And
So it can be traditionally called uranium or Vaseline,
right,
right?
right.
This
Mm-hmm.
when we first took over this, I had never heard of this glass. And Gary had walked around with the black light after we closed one night, and we looked at it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And traditionally now, is it a kick it or keep it item?
It's a keep it. It's not as popular as it was. So you're not going to get probably as quite as much out of it as you were,
I'm
say
gonna add
6 months ago.
I'm gonna add another category to determine whether to keep it or kick it.
Okay.
Is age.
And what does that mean?
Is who you are selling to or who your customer is. What
Age
your
customer
focus on
base.
that
Yeah,
is
that's a good
going to
idea.
determine whether or not you're going to keep it or kick it. So uranium glass, very hot right now,
Young.
has been for the past year, really, around in this area again, with 20 to 40 year olds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, younger crowd.
Yep, younger crowd. We've kind of that age group has kind of slipped back into the hippie land. So any of that kind of stuff is very collectible. The mushroom, the MCM. So if you think back to that era that was created, that's a good mentality of that age group right now again. Right. So uranium glass is kind of popular for specific age collections, I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't see many 60-year-olds coming in and buying it.
No, but those are the ones that are selling it.
Yeah, they have it. Yes.
Yeah. So, and we have a couple vendors here that do still specialize in that. So one of them has a little black light case, and I think the other one has black lights on it too.
We have like 3 or 4 black light cases. I've noticed some smaller.
Ones, yeah.
That one there in the corner, I think, was supposed to be in that booth right there. Has some in it.
Okay.
Yep, that top basket is. Yep.
Yeah, so it's still a keeper. Yes, keep the uranium glass coming.
Yeah.
People do buy it. It's a little not quite as pricey as it was. It kind of goes, price some, it still sells, but maybe at a
Right. I
lower
think if
price.
you are a vendor on the vendor side of things with uranium glass, I would look for the things that are not as popular. Like not so much the like little candy dishes and the glasses and stuff. Start looking for things like the coasters, more rare forms
Of the uranium
of
glass.
uranium glass. And who did you say the vendor was over at? Do you know their names? Because we could have gave them a shout out online because they have a really cool collection.
No, they're really, really sweet couple.
But anyways, yes, they're frequent flyers here and vendors there. Yes. I had a question though from Denise Bennett. She wants to know, is white ironstone still hot seller? Do you have that on your list?
I don't, and it
I'm
is.
surprised.
It's. I know. Why didn't I think of that one? I'm not sure because I collect it too. Now, I
It's more of a
collect.
timeless collection, I
Right.
believe.
It's a
Yeah.
timeless collection. We don't have a lot of people come in here and say, "Hey, I'm looking for ironstone." We do once in a while. It's still something that people collect. Yes, I would say it's a keeper. Um, do we have a lot of it in here? No, unfortunately, we do not. But it is.
Well,
It's scattered around. That we
what
have
would you
some.
say is the most sought after ironstone piece collection?
You mean like pictures or gravy boats or?
Yeah, like most.
I'd say the pictures and the I don't know pictures,
Is there a
creamers.
certain pattern that's more popular than others?
I don't know that. I'm not done it long enough to know if there's a certain pattern. There's all different sorts of patterns, but most of them are just white. You know what I mean? Like, but then they have a different design on them. And I don't know the errors of that. I just know people like to collect it because it's white and it goes nice in your
Right,
country
timeless.
primitive. Yeah.
It can go with multiple decor type
Yes.
collections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's still popular. There are some vendors that do have it, but not a ton.
Explain the difference between the ironstone and the crockware.
Difference. I don't know I mean, crock is more of a ironstone is porcelain, and crocks are usually made from no, I can't even think. No, I'm not thinking correctly. It's like a pottery. Crocks are more like pottery, so that their substance is a little bit different. But they're both old. Now, I read something. I did read about the stoneware, and the Meakin stoneware is probably the oldest in the 1800s, and I think they still actually have a production for that, but it changed over the years. Sons and whatever had different brands and eras for that, but I don't remember it offhand. I just read it not too long ago, but I don't retain that kind of knowledge unless I reread it again.
So I would say, Denise, that it's still a hot seller. We just don't come across it like
I would
every
like
day
it, yeah.
because the opportunity for it to sell isn't here. The product isn't here
Yeah.
in abundance.
But if it was, it sells. It would still sell
because people keep it.
Yeah.
So yes, keep it.
Lots of
That's a keep it versus a kick it.
That's right.
What's our next one?
So we were talking about glass, uranium glass. What about that pretty art glass? Do we know about, like it has I should have grabbed one piece one. So
We're talking about the ones like print?
No, art glass is like it might be clear and then it has like a swirl of blue in it, or it has like, it's art glass pieces. Those types of pieces.
You want me to go grab one?
Yeah. Do you
in the case?
Well,
is that one locked?
You know what? I know exactly where a piece is.
Okay.
It's not even in the case. It's not very far.
I guess I get to stay with you.
Yeah. But that
is art glass a keep it or a kick it? I don't think it's as popular as it was. Okay, so maybe she'll have more to say, but I think before, I feel kind of like alone right now. Even though it's the same, like you're not with me here, but since she moved, I feel like I'm like scared to be on camera with you by myself. Anyways, it used to be such a big thing, and I think the appreciation of what it is isn't there anymore. So therefore, people don't collect it as easily or as they used to, just because of the fact that people don't appreciate the artwork as much anymore. But people still do learn the art of glass. Look how pretty it is, though. I also think a lot of it is due to my generation, who's seen like their older generations collecting this. got to be so knick-knacky.
Well, this is, just an example of art glass, and then there's so many different forms of it and colors, and it's beautiful. It looks prettiest when it's in a showcase with lights on it,
But no one has.
and you just don't see it in people's homes anymore.
Well,
like not big collections, at least. That thing's making noise again. And when I was painting in people's homes, so I got to see a lot of different types of, decor and how people, what they collect. But this was one thing that didn't show up a lot, and it's still, we don't sell a lot of it. So
well, nobody has curio cabinets anymore. And we live in a world of, for the longest time, minimalist. Like the generation switched to having everything you get your hands on, right? We went through depression, then we went through what can I get because now I can buy it. And then we went through learning how to decorate, like the decorative world kind of came in, like not necessarily what do you need, but what do you want for your home. And that kind of fell there. I feel like it's like you were high end if you had this high end piece of art. Same thing happens with high end piece of picture,
Right. And these here are still pricey online, like to purchase something like this, it's not inexpensive by any means. But
well, I would also say because it's there's not. I mean, they've gotten broken, so they are still rare formed. But there's also less of collectors out there.
The hand blown art glass is a little more pricey and a little more collectible, like Blinko and Murano, those types of art glass.
Those are also mid-century.
Yes, so those are a little more collectible than this. This one has a name, and I don't know what
it's Italian, I believe.
Yeah,
it's right here.
It's Flygors, Sweden, from Sweden.
Okay,
I don't know. So art glass is not real popular. So if you're wanting to, sell it, it's going to sit a while.
Crystal.
Hey, bringing up crystal. Let's do crystal. How popular is crystal?
I hate it.
Now, it depends. If it's real crystal, like crystal,
I still don't like it.
And it does not sell. Like people once in a while will have an older gentleman come in like, oh my God, yeah, they love that crystal. But honestly, it's not something I would pick up to sell because it's hard. It's a hard sell.
It's a generational collective.
It is
thing.
And then you've got clear glass next to that, which definitely does not. The pressed white glass, not white. And then clear glass does not sell.
I also think a lot of that is because people my age and collective world really don't care if it's cut or clear or crystal. It looks the same. And to us, and I always say, is an item worth anything? It's only worth what you're willing to pay.
That's true.
And I think my generation devaluized crystal because we don't care. Still beautiful. It's pretty.
But I don't
pretty,
like.
But you got to make sure it's clean.
Yeah, white, like clear pressed glass. Some people don't know the difference because it's all looks like clear glass.
Yeah, you definitely can see a difference if they're side by side for sure, and
even the weight of it is different. The weight. But both of them are not big sellers. If I was someone came to me and wanted me to buy pressed glass, I'd say absolutely I do not want it. I've got boxes of it. I don't even know what to do with it. The crystal, depending on what it is, I would possibly, depending. I can't. It's going to sit a while, but it will eventually sell. So those are some of the glass items.
Technically, so are you doing crystal, or are you doing just clear glass, or the whole kit and caboodle?
I would say all of it. Just kick it. Like don't go out of your way to purchase it to resell.
If someone comes at you and was like, "Look, you can make an awesome deal out of this. You just need to walk."
Because it's not selling at all.
And maybe that's different somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, not around here. That's the case, and I would say the same as Centerville as well.
Yeah.
But that there's all kinds of glass. Indiana glass is another story. Indiana glass sells here. It really sells across the United States because it's more rare there.
I was going to say, do you think it sells here because we're within a local area of Indiana, or do you think that it's just what was produced that people like, not necessarily is it?
It is collectible. I would say, I don't know if that's, people have it here and you couldn't sell it for a long time. And now we don't have as much of it as we used to because people have collected.
So we're categorizing this right now.
Indiana glass, I would say keep it.
Indiana glass, keep it. And
I would say it sells yet.
give them an example of an Indiana glass piece.
Oh, geez.
Because I will agree with you,
there's a
but I'll
ton of it.
disagree with depending on
color.
what it is.
Oh, I think sometimes it depends on the color. I'm looking around here.
So they have like the amber elephants, and they have those are kind of in between keep it or kick it, in my opinion.
But they sell higher online.
Yeah, it's an elephant. It's an animal.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And they like, I don't know why.
Okay, do they make baskets?
Indiana glass does.
Mm-hmm. Would you keep it or kick the basket?
They don't sell very well.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, you're gonna keep it for a while, so probably wouldn't go out of
What
my
is
way.
the most keep it of Indiana glass?
Hens on nest.
Hens on nest. I was just trying to get the viewers a good idea.
Made them, Bear made them. There's more than one maker of the hen on the nest, but the Indiana glass ones were
one of the original.
Yeah, and they're popular. Yeah.
Something else not everybody knows, but the A&W glass is an Indiana glass production, and I would say kick that.
What's that? A&W?
A&W root beer cups. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just Indiana glass in general. We can't really say keep it or kick it, but if you categorize down what different things that Indiana glass has, there are some keep things. There definitely are some kick it's.
Right.
What we got next?
How about tools?
Mm-hmm.
Tools. Do tools sell?
I think tools will always be a keep it item.
I do too.
Okay, glad we're in agreement.
Yes.
Now, what kind of tools are we talking about? Are we talking about garden tools? Are we talking about construction tools?
Well, manly tools. Mm-hmm. Let's go there because there's all kinds of tools out there.
Are you talking about hand tools? Or are you talking about
hand tools?
Okay, yeah.
Hand tools.
So we're narrowing it down for you.
Older hand tools that were forged are popular. People collect them. Even some of them use them yet.
Rare tools are very collectible. Yes, if you are an avid tool buyer or collector and you've not seen it, I would say keep it.
Yeah,
because what is collectible about the tool piece, in my opinion, is the conversation behind it.
Yeah. And the more strange or odd or rare it is, the better. Yeah. And right along with that, vices are very sellable.
I know, but why? They're so clunky.
I don't know. Philip, are you watching? He sells a boatload of them. But
anybody watching who collects vice items, vice tools, why do you collect them?
Well, I know some of them right here in the United States, and they're worth more because they are better made than and people use them yet. So everybody needs a vice. Honestly, I've used vices for different things. You probably never have.
I probably just use my legs. Squeeze them tight.
And she wonders why she hurts. Anyway. Yeah. So tools,
a good leverage will be okay.
Keep them. Some people even decorate with them. I mean, but there are lots of collectors of tools. Yes. So definitely keep. How about crocks? Are they a kick it or keep it item? What do you think?
I would say they are a keep it with a knockover. Like just a tiny bit of a kick.
No, I think it's a keep it and they will never go out of style. That's what I
think. I'm a little nervous though for people who are my age, whether or not you're going to see that big gap, because I don't think many people really collect crockery who are in their 30s. Yeah. I think we've seen a lot of it, and I think the generation after us is into it again because all the pioneers who are making bread and stuff. But my era kind of grew and fell in between these two generations, where it's like, I don't know what the hell we're doing in life, but we ain't got time for shit. And
we don't like crap.
And we don't like anything.
Yeah, they don't like it. They're throwaway.
No, I don't think I fall on the throwaway.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's between me and you.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends on what it is. But anyway, no, Crocs is a keep it. If you can find a good Croc, you're going to sell it. Honestly. Yeah. Small ones, big ones, it doesn't matter.
I guess my thing is, though, just because it's a Croc doesn't mean it's a good piece.
Exactly.
Just because,
certain
oh my gosh, that's a Croc. Yeah. That's crockery, and Crocs aren't just, and I keep looking around, like your general Croc. They can be what things can be? They can
Well,
be
there's salt,
bowls, they can
right?
be canisters, they can be
They
pitchers,
can be jars.
can be jars, they can be
Crock bowls, you already said that,
I
didn't
said
you?
bowls.
Yeah.
They can be salt and
So
pepper shakers, they could be creamers. Um,
most of it's just, I was just talking like
basic crock
Crocs.
is your
Yeah.
category right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then
it's a
what brands of Crocs would
oh
you
God,
keep
don't
versus
ask me
kick
that.
over?
I have no idea. I'm not a Croc
Well,
aficionado.
highly collectible ones are the bee stings. We
Oh
do
well,
see those
absolutely.
here
Yeah.
as a good collectical.
Yeah, those
What's the other
everywhere.
brand?
There's Red Wing, there's Yule, there's a I think what one Gary just started collecting a different one. I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember now. He's
I
more
would say
into his Crocs with lettering that people use for manufacturing or farm use. He likes those kind of Crocs. So
yeah. So when
there's
you're
a lot of different
considering
Crocs.
items to keep or kick, something else, just because we're talking about Crocs right now, is determining who the manufacturer was of the product that you're choosing to keep or kick, determining if there's any kind of stamp work on it,
Right.
because advertising is always a keep it, I think.
Absolutely.
It might have been on you.
Farm use crock is something that a lot of people don't know about. Like there's chicken waters and feeders and all kinds of things that are out there that are kind of rare. There's also water spigot type crocks, or they're used for water for us to drink out of. Those kind of crocks are very different, but they're collectible as well. So those were the other types of crocks that
Yeah, we got a
people.
lot of vendors in here who I would say are very knowledgeable in their Croc collections.
Yes.
So if you
It's
are
good, yeah.
someone who is interested in the Croc collection as a customer, I would hit it up.
Yeah.
Yep, we got it.
How about jewelry? On the other spectrum here, nothing to do with Crocs, but jewelry. What do you think about jewelry?
See, I gotta break down the categories to give you an answer.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say without breaking down, it's a keep it. Whether it's real jewelry or it's costume jewelry, older jewelry that's costume jewelry sells well.
Mm-hmm.
Real jewelry does, but you really have to know your jewelry. Sometimes, sterling silver always goes well.
I would say if anyone out there's watching and you are a true collector of vintage, real jewelry, not like $25, $45 pieces. I'm talking pieces that are worth something, especially those I don't know, of worth value. If you are and you need an outlet to sell, you can call us today and we'll find you a space.
Exactly.
Because we have people who call and literally, people come to these types of places for jewelry gifts more than they probably used to. But they come to it with a mindset and value of them going to an actual jewelry store. I mean, they're coming for I'm doing an anniversary gift, or I am actually buying an engagement ring through, because vintage is so big right now that people like the story behind the piece.
Yes.
So
Gentry, one girl, a friend, couple that are going to be getting engaged. She wants a vintage ring.
Does she?
She does not want a renew one. She wants a vintage.
Yeah.
Ring.
And yours and Gary's, yours was vintage.
My first one, yeah. I had Ashley. We ordered it on eBay from Old City Jewelers, and it was worth way more than what we paid. We had it appraised afterwards, and I still have it. It's a beautiful ring too.
Yeah. So jewelry in general as a category, blank is a keep it.
Yes.
I would say if you come across something more like,
that didn't sound good.
I'm not sure what just happened. I don't know if anybody heard that online, but there was a big crash. I think it sounded worse than it may have been.
Okay.
We'll find out. Anyways, like the paparazzi kind of jewelry, I would say kick it.
Yeah.
Like things that you can actually buy from the person for $5 and under, I wouldn't resell it. I would just not.
Now, if you come across a huge box full of jewelry that somebody had when they were a teenager and they died in the 60s or older, those kinds of pieces will sell. I mean, you're not going to get a ton of money out of them, but the young girls come in here and they like to purchase those types of things. So yeah, I would say jewelry.
I wouldn't say people come in here to purchase it. I think they come across it and they find it.
They come across it. You're right. You're right. But now there is one lady that comes in and she looks for the high end stuff all the time. So architectural pieces,
Mm. Have my heart.
keep it or kick it.
Keep it.
Keep it for sure. We
Yes.
are slim on that in here.
Gosh, I wish my dream, and I put it out there that was going to happen. It just hasn't happened.
I know. And a space just for that.
Because my body can't do it. But I would love an all architectural area.
Me too.
I'm talking about salvage architecture.
Right.
Where you get the archway doors that are just
Corbels
beautiful and iron.
It's hard to come by.
It is.
I
and
used
you know
to buy
what?
a ton of it.
Nobody wants to move it.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's usually heavy. It's
dirty.
Hard to display. So you gotta have sections, and it takes up lots of space. But
we did have an inquiring vendor who did that.
Yes.
And they chose to go a different route in life, so they didn't continue with us. But oh my goodness, that would have been so wonderful.
I know. I would have. Yeah. Like. Yeah, the old pieces that we're talking about. Plus, you have the old windows and old doors. Those are still popular as well. People do come in here and ask for that. And there's not a ton of that here, but it will sell if you have it in here. It will definitely sell.
Mm-hmm. And like if you close your eyes and you picture that white chippy or that old oak, real hardwood, castle-like or vintage church or English. What's called English? What's the place out in Cambridge City? What's their name? You remember? It's all beautiful old pieces.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's really pretty.
Empire Antiques or something like that. Anyways, if you would think of something luxury that happened in the 1700s and is still here today, those are the pieces that are beautiful.
Yeah, and they sell.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Not just to your regular old Joe, but
right. And when we was talking about that, I was thinking of something else. Now I don't remember what I was thinking, but I know what I was thinking because you said decorative. I was in church looking. Mm-hmm. What about stained glass? Is it a keep it or a kick it?
It's a keep it.
It's a keep it.
I don't care for stained glass as much, but it is a keep it.
It's a keep it because people still like to put it in their homes, especially if it's an old window from something that's local.
I would say more abstract stained glass, like old architecture or abstract, more than the actual picture type stained glasses or scenery stained glasses. Those aren't as popular.
Probably not.
As more of like your base colors in the shape of your what is that? The welds. The form, the design, versus the actual pieced together.
And even leaded glass windows, they're not colored glass. It's just leaded glass. They're usually beveled glass inside lead welding. Those sell too. We don't get a lot of them here, but
we do have the local artist though, Glass Bonsai, and
he brings pieces in here.
Steve, yes, he has a few pieces,
and
hanging
he will do
here.
custom work.
Yes, for you. So if you are someone who is interested in having something done, we do have contact for
that. Okay, so let's. How about salt and pepper shakers?
I think those are going to be another item that people are just always going to
pick up,
gravitate towards.
Now, there are some people that actually have collections that come in here, and that's all they look for.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. You're talking about, thinking about ideas for podcasts are kind of comical sometimes, but there's always this idea that comes up to tell the story of the craziest customer.
We should write those down so we can have a good podcast on that.
But we want people to come back. So. That's kind of scary to do. But do you remember the ladies? They were sisters, and they came in here.
That's what reminded me of that.
And they were at war with each other on this collection of salt and pepper shakers.
They
had
were
their
mad
list.
at each other.
Yeah. And so it can be a serious game.
Yeah.
So yes,
who could get the best ones?
Keep them. Somebody might come to your house and put you at gunpoint. The really cool ones that are in the mid-century style ones right now. I think more the glazed, the high-end colors,
right?
The flamingos, the little bird head ones. We have some vendors though that have some really awesome smaller collections to choose from for sure. I doubt you have this on here, but we talked about salt and pepper shakers. What about cream and saucers?
Cream,
Creamers
and sugar.
and sugar.
I did not put that. I did
Ugh.
put pictures. She doesn't like the cream and sugar sets.
No,
They're
I
not a
just
big
don't.
seller. No.
They're just not attractive.
Well, nobody uses them anymore. Like who has sugar bowl sitting on their cupboard with a little
Nobody eats
cream
sugar
on it?
anymore.
Well, that's a lie.
Like, they think if they don't eat it out of the bowl, they really didn't eat it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those things don't sell very well at all. How about dolls?
Oh.
How about dolls? Do we have any doll collectors out there? There's a lady that was in here this week, and she collects dolls. And she wanted to know. I don't remember what she asked me, and I said, to be honest with you, they just don't sell. I mean, we do have some dolls in some cases here, and we have sold several. Don't so there are people that do collect them, especially if they're very odd or very old. But your average porcelain doll does not sell. Like it's not a thing. People are creeped out by dolls just like they're creeped out by clowns. Clowns are probably worse.
Even the 1950s like Barbies, they don't sell either. Are you classifying everything together?
Yeah. I mean,
they're just not as popular right now.
Now we do have a younger crowd that collects Barbies. But they're not looking for the old ones. Usually it's
like a special edition ones.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's not me. But they're collectible.
I would say in general, if you were down to your last $5, I would kick it.
I would too. I wouldn't buy it either. I mean, don't buy it.
But some people buy them. But
yes, we do have people
it's not a popular thing.
No.
You will hold on to them unless you got something like way cool. Are you classifying the teddy with them, or is that a separate thing?
That's a separate thing. Teddy bears?
Do you have that on there?
No, I don't.
We'll just dive into that together. Teddy bears.
Depends. If they're stifes, of course they're going to sell because they're expensive and collectible.
I disgustingly will say you probably should keep it if it's a teddy.
Yeah, especially if it's an old one that has joints, even if it's not a stife. If it's something like that, it's going to sell. Probably.
Yeah, one that's really matted with one eyeball.
I have one of those.
For some reason, people love them. I think it's more because of the feeling that they get. Just like you said, I had one. That's what you said.
Could you imagine how cute that would be in a nursery on a shelf? Especially if it was like a dull pink.
I don't know anymore. In my era, it's like, does it have a hidden camera in it? What's going on? It's not like, oh, look at that cute fuzzy teddy bear. It's like, is that thing AI or you think? Oh Lord, that's the reality of life. Huh?
That's warped.
Not warped. It's just truth.
Oh my God.
It's truth. Next time she comes to my house, she's gonna worry about the toilet paper roll.
Don't get me started. Oh my God.
Anyways, anybody else watching that's in their 30s, like agree with me.
That is hilarious. Though.
The teddy bear is not a soft image anymore.
Oh man. Whew.
Okay.
Let's get over that.
We're keeping the teddy bears.
Even though they might have cameras in them.
Check them out first. Give them an enema. Clear their eyes.
Oh Lord. Okay, so we're on teddy bears. How about Halloween, Christmas, Easter, old stuff?
Keep it.
Keep it. Exactly. Bring it in.
The uglier the better.
Yeah, it'll sell. All those primitive, the paper mache things, tin items, paper, cardboard, all that kind of stuff. If you know of anybody that has a bunch of that and would like to put a collection in here, we'll let you in. Because it would sell.
True vintage,
true vintage stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the stuff that from the 1980s. We're talking old.
Do you have toys on here?
I do. I think I did put toys on here. Yeah. So toys.
The same aspect of toys is the true old toys. I think are keep it like rare old toys.
Yeah, and same with games. People do collect those. Now, I don't think we sell a ton of it, but I don't think there's a ton of old toys here.
There isn't anymore.
There isn't. I've had probably more than anybody has, and it takes a little while to sell them, but they're still collectible.
Yeah, but in general, someone would come to us with a lot of old toys and say, "Are you
Oh, I
interested
think
in
it would be a
buying?"
super good booth space.
And it's one of those things that if you have more of a collection of this, you will do better as a vendor.
Yeah.
On a customer side of things, I think people gravitate towards things again that have memory and feeling to them. So, um, if they know that grandma had one of these, like I have to have this, or
Now another
that
thing,
little pull long toy over there,
we're
keep
talking
looking
about
at, that's
toys.
like
If you're
that.
talking about farm toys, definitely keep it.
Yes.
Those things are popular, so they just sell well too. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, farm toys are just crazy, and I think those will kind of be a keep it thing, and then we're gonna see that die. I think, Mom.
you think so?
Yes, because okay, I have a boy, and that I think back to my uncles playing, with the John Deeres and the combines and the gates and how they set it up and what they had, and um, it was just so cool. But we couldn't touch it, like the boys could touch it, but that was it. But that's not there anymore. That love that the kids have for that is not there, and they don't make them the same now. They're plastic,
A lot of them are plastic.
so and a lot of these old ones that are being collected today are getting so rough now. I mean, they so anyways, I hope that it continues, but I don't know if we're going to see that 20 years from now.
Well, whatever's left will be pricey.
Yeah, so keep it is what we're saying.
Keep
Keep it because it's going to be a dying thing that you will find an abundance of.
Right. So what about furniture? That's a big
It's a
category.
broad thing.
But let's go over some of the areas of furniture that sell and types of furniture that sell. People still look for good quality furniture. If you're
What about chairs?
people, I had people wanting to buy my chairs yesterday off my tables over there. They're not for sale. Yes, chairs sell. Now, if you have a pair of chairs, they almost sell better than if you just have a single chair. Because people know what to do with a pair of chairs. A single chair is, if it doesn't fit under a desk, it may, or maybe people don't have desks that much anymore either. But
Not stationary anymore.
yeah. So, but yes, furniture is definitely a keeper. The bigger pieces of furniture are probably more sellable than any of the smaller. It just depends. Everybody's different.
That's a super hard thing.
But you do want quality furniture. The quality furniture sells.
I would, in general, usually, if you were to say, okay, I have this much budget left for my month, which I know none of you buyers think that way, but if it's a side table, I would probably pass on it. If it's
Are you looking for the restroom? Right past that little hutch is the women's.
People who don't see this in visual form, they only hear us, are going to be confused about that comment. So side tables, I would pass unless there's something really cool because I don't think they sell very nicely anymore.
No, but if you have a pair of nightstands, they sell. People look for nightstands all the time, and there's not very many here. There never is.
Yeah.
People get rid of them, I don't think.
Yeah.
They want matching nightstands
and usually skinny. They don't want them to be big.
Right.
Yeah, because they used to have really big ones. A lot of people use like dressers anymore beside their beds and things, so that kind of have died.
I kind of want to do. If you have a big enough room, yeah. Now
piano benches.
Piano benches don't sell that well. Hutches sell all the time.
Sell.
Yes. And the more primitive they are, usually the quicker they sell. Jelly cabinets, those kind of things sell quickly. Curio cabinets, depending on what they are. If they're the corner glass ones, they don't sell super quick. No.
I would say more of the skinnier glass and wood skinnier furniture things are very popular.
Yeah. Tables and chairs, they will sell if they are nice. Tiffany used to sell a boatload of them here.
Yeah.
And they weren't all old. Some of them were and some of them weren't. But if they're sturdy and they look nice, they will sell. They do take up lots of space in your booths. If you're going to have them in here, you have to be prepared for that. Dressers, Any type of dresser usually sells.
Usually a high boy versus a buffet type, though.
Do what?
The taller ones sell
The
better.
taller ones, or in the little wash sinks still sell well. They always seem to sell because they're easy to put in spaces. So yeah, furniture in general is a good purchase. Now,
What about
primitive.
arrows?
That's what I'm going. That's where I'm going. Primitive sells easily, but it's pricey to buy to begin with, so you're going to have an investment in it. And Victorian does not sell very well.
And
at
you're
the
talking
moment.
Victorian, what would you say?
Well, I'm talking. There's different styles. So you have East Lake, which is more of a primitive. I call that in between Victorian. It's not real gaudy. That stuff sells okay. Now, if you get,
It's
we
more
have,
street line.
yes, it's more streamlined. Now we have some Victorian that has lots of gaudy stuff on it. It does not sell real quick. Mid-century modern furniture still sells well.
What about Gothic?
That's kind of where I'm going.
Yeah.
Victorian Gothic. It depends.
Like
It's not super
your gargoyles on them and stuff.
gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Well, that's kind of, you don't even see that too much.
We have some in here.
I know we do, and Gary has some that
we don't really have a lot in here. I don't even know if we have any in here right now.
I have some probably back there, but it doesn't sell real quickly. Now, not saying that it won't, because Victorian definitely has made a comeback in the last year. I don't see it too much here, though.
I wouldn't see it coming back enough in the next 10 years to buy it now.
So, if it's more streamlined type, yes, it will. Mid-century modern sells, but you really have to be careful on what you buy with mid-century modern, because it's not all wood. It's not all put together well. So you have to make that decision when purchasing.
I think mid-century modern was the first evil to IKEA.
Yeah, something like that. But there are some older mid-century modern pieces that are very sleek, like was made in the 1950s, like buffets and things. Those things sell. So
now mid-century modern tables sell.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had that one that was glass oval and had those chairs. Oh, they were beautiful. So cool. We did sell it though. Yeah, so furniture sells, and it's great to display on while it's sitting in your booth. I mean, you can use it to merchandise things well with. So, how about like old boxes, wood stuff, wood things like boxes and crates? Do they sell? Is that a keep it or?
It's a keep it.
That is a keep it, no matter what. And the box
You'd
prices have gotten crazy.
I was just gonna say, you'd be surprised to know how much a box goes for.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
A
and
wood
I don't
crate, I guess, more than
an old one that has the lettering on it,
like
whether it's stamped or painted on. Those go a lot. Those will sell quickly. How about baskets? Well, baskets, are they a keep it or a keep it?
Right now, they're a keep it.
They're definitely a keep it. And they don't have to be Longenberger or a brand name. Now, the primitive ones will sell, at a good price.
I think baskets are an age depending on what type of basket is.
Longenberger will sell, but not at a super price like they used to. But baskets in general sell because the younger generation don't care what kind it is. If it's something they're going to put on their walls,
I would almost rather it not have a name brand.
Right, you're just buying it inexpensive stuff. And so all of it sells. All baskets sell. How about signs? The wood signs with the words on them. Nope.
Kick it.
People just don't purchase them anymore. It's kind of a gone era.
Our customers agreeing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the oh shit, what are they called? Ray and Dunn.
Oh yeah, Ray Dunn. No, kind of kick it.
Yeah. It's past its glory.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And it was a short-lived period for that.
I mean, the wood word signs were
those
around
were big
for a
thing.
while.
I had classes every week with those. So yeah, now it's not.
I think a piece here and there is okay.
But don't overdo it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. When I first decorated my other house 10 years ago, what was popular, and that's what I had.
But I had all those classes. Did I ever have any signs in my house?
I don't know. I had a couple of them that I did with you that I had hung.
I might have had a family sign,
but now I don't have anything. I have the one Maurice anyway, Mother Teresa quote.
Oh yeah,
I have that one, and that's about it. But
how about lamps and lights, chandeliers, and lamps, keepers? Man, they sell.
Those are
Even if you
items
don't have
that
the lampshades,
we even get requests for ship outs on. A
yeah.
lot of
And
string
lampshades
lights.
too are, if they're in good shape, people will buy them because they're expensive to
Mm-hmm,
purchase
mm-hmm.
new, and some of the older ones are worth lots of money. So definitely keep it. Um, how about jars?
What kind of jars?
Like the canning jars, blue jars.
I don't think they're as popular as they used to be.
They sell.
Yeah.
The more rare they are, the better off you are purchasing them. I wouldn't spend a whole bunch of money on the blue jars, but they will sell. They're just not as, I don't think we sell quite as much as we used to.
I think 5 years ago collection versus today collection on those is very different.
I mean, you could put a few in. I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on jars. But I'm talking canning jars. Now there are the bottles, not jars. I'm talking bottles. Old bottles still sell.
I think old
Ton of,
bottles have taken the lead,
yeah, they sell more than the jars.
hmm
I agree with you.
especially amber
I was
bottles
just going to say that the
or
amber
green.
bottles or
The
the green
green,
ones, those
hmm
sell very quickly. Um,
or vase type, you know, vase vase jars
they sell quickly,
quicker than they
quicker.
used
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Quilts and toppers.
Mm. A keep item.
It's a keep item. I don't think that's ever going to go away. Really, I think it's kind of like your Crocs. It's just something that
I
a
think
lot of people use as a staple.
they went stagnant for a little bit, but I think they're big again,
Yeah.
especially because that granny
I was
core
never a
is coming
quilt
around.
lover ever, and
I do
but I
like a good
appreciate them now. I've learned to
simple
appreciate
simple
quilting. Yes, it
quilt.
depends. I'm not into the old grainy looking stuff. I like more modern type quilts. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I
Even though
agree the other way around.
you do.
I like the smaller print,
Yeah.
floral.
I'm kind of mixed on that. But they're not going to go out if you can find a good quilt and a topper or
Like those are pretty over there.
yeah, they definitely will sell. Afghans, do they sell?
Kick it.
Kick it. You don't think they're a thing anymore?
Like ones that people get after people die.
Huh?
Like Afghans that people get
Like
you-
that one's crocheted over there.
oh, I wouldn't call that an Afghan, I guess.
That's what I
Let's
call
call
them.
it a crocheted blanket.
No, like the little one behind that flowered tapestry. See it? It looks like a granny squares, but it's not. I don't know what that one is.
Mm,
It's got the black and the different colors.
okay.
It
Yeah.
depends. If they look mid-century modern like that, they sell well. Even the ones that have like the the stitch look. What is that called?
Knit?
Oh, they go like this. What's that called? That design? I can't remember what it's called. Goodness. I used to paint it on everybody's walls. I can't even think what it's called.
Chevron?
The chevron pattern. God, I couldn't think of it. And those sell well.
Yeah, I
And
thought you were talking
any
about
type.
like Afghans that you get and they have like angels on them and
Not
stuff.
this kind. No,
Because
that's
those
not
do
what
show up, and I would
those.
kick those.
I would kick those. I would not even bring them in here. Now the other thing leading right into that is your lace tablecloths and linens. That
Super
is
popular.
a keeper,
Yeah.
for sure. They sell
Doilies on the
doilies. Can you
same
believe
bit.
that? In the 80s, when I first
I
was
don't think
married,
doilies ever disappeared.
I didn't have them for years in my house. I had them in the 80s, and then I got rid of them because I thought they looked like an old granny. Never had them then. For when you kids were growing up, I had a few,
And we had some under your figurine type thing.
but not very many. And then I just completely got rid of all of them. But they're back. I mean,
Right,
people
but the
love
the
them.
cool thing with those is you could take something so very rustic and throw a doily with it, and it looks
so
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Like that little display that we just did over there not so long ago.
Yeah.
It's more typically for the viewers who can't see or haven't been in here or whatever, but it's a display that has garden type things in it. It has salvage pieces in it. It has glass. It has wicker. It has crockery. It has floral. It has wood.
Yes.
It has fabric, and it has everything.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to utilize a bunch of different things into one category.
Yeah.
But there's doilies on it too, and
it softens the whole appearance.
You know,
so
doilies not only Afghans, but what about feet sacks?
Yeah. Keep it.
Keep it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like they're like a craze like they
No.
were like I think
But
I
people
think
collect
feet
them
sacks
because of depending on
and
what's
the
on them.
crocks
Yeah.
are kind of a timeless. Okay, they're probably always going to be around as more of a collective piece, but they're going to go and come and go as far as popularity.
How about old treadle sewing machine?
Yeah, I would not.
I would kick it.
We actually get a lot of people who ask us, I got this, I'm like,
They want to
oh,
get rid of them. They want us to buy them, and I'm like, there's a few in here, and they sit here, and then they always want more than what they're going to sell for because they're not something everybody's
I
looking
feel
for.
that that's no longer becoming a collective thing just because, again, people who are 70 and older are the ones who are currently collecting those, and they're not getting out and about as much anymore to collect things.
Could
They're
be.
they're decluttering versus cluttering up.
Right. I don't see
And
people wanting that.
my era doesn't just want a sewing machine sitting in their hallway for no reason.
Right. I don't like. I never.
It
did
doesn't
like
have
it.
enough purpose of appeal to it.
Yeah.
So
Well, we have like 6 of them in the warehouse.
I know.
Yeah.
You could
We
you could buy
disassemble
them and take them apart and use the pieces
You
for
can
different
make
things.
a cool
I know
table
that
with
sounds
them
like a
and
crazy
two
eerie thing as
boxes.
collection goes, but
Yeah, we've done more with them that way than selling them.
yeah, and it sells better in pieces.
It does. It does. How about jewelry boxes and chests and things? Like the tall ones. Like
I'll let you answer that one. I would not. I would keep a chest. I would not keep a jewelry, but they sell.
Yeah, so I think it's a keeper. People do buy them. Yeah,
but not like a bunch.
Not a ton. They kind of went through. I don't know. A couple years ago, they sold a little bit quicker than they do now. I wouldn't say it's not a keeper. Kind of one of those things that maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan. But we went through a good list. How many did you have?
Oh, heck, I don't know, but we didn't go through the whole list.
Oh, we didn't.
No, heck no. I don't know. What time is it? Oh, it's 2:00. Okay. Yeah, but we hit a lot of the major things. The one thing that I didn't there's two things that we probably should talk about. Cast iron.
I think that's a
That's a
timeless piece
keeper.
again.
Yeah.
Especially your Griswolds, your Wagners,
Yeah.
your Erie.
And or the pots like that people always put outside. Those things are worth money. They will sell. And the other thing, anything brass sells well, usually, made from brass items. And one other thing that I was going to look at here, oh, China. How about China? Sets like Noritake and all that. Nope, that's a kick it. Those items do not sell. They're beautiful, don't get me wrong, but
I have a feeling they're not gone forever.
I'm going to agree with you. I do see more younger girls looking for China sets, but very few and far between. A lot of times it's dishwares that they.
Well, we're falling out of the plastic era. We're going back to glass. And we're going back to
yeah, and
permeable pieces.
And I see more people buying the hutches for that.
Yep, and that's why we're seeing more glassware.
So I think it will come back again too. It just takes time.
Mark me on here, but I think that China and actual sets of dishes that are like good quality are going to be our next peak that we see. We saw the Pyrex era fly in, and I think that's going to be our next popular thing.
Really?
I don't mean to go out and buy all of it.
No, yeah.
Because it's going to happen slower. But just looking at the generation that is collecting currently and what they're buying and what they're collecting and what their style is and what they see value in versus not see value in, we're going to see this shift. I think we're going to see a shift.
Brittany's words, we might.
I think we're going to see a shift.
Yeah. So we went through lots of items. And I didn't even go through the whole, but most of them, like we could have individualized more glass because glass is just crazy. But yeah, I think we had a good list here.
Yeah. Yeah. In general, things that are of higher value are always going to take a second thought, whether or not you should keep it or kick it, just because
you have an investment. But that's what people look for. But it
also could be a great investment. Yes. So, and don't keep it or kick it just because.
Right.
And each category has its own little pieces that are keep it.
Yep. Break it all down, right?
What are we going to sell tomorrow on our live? Do we know?
I don't know. What should we sell? Just go and pick out the coolest piece in the booth?
Yeah, we did that.
Is that what you did last week? We need a theme, huh?
Yeah, we'll come up with one. So catch us on Facebook for posting of what we'll be selling live tomorrow. We'll post that on our events, and we'll be off next week. right?
Yes.
We're going to do a vacation
vacation.
week from podcast and live. So
Yes.
we'll be a break and then we'll be back the following week. So we'll continue with episode 7. Not sure yet what that category will be, and then our live sale the following day.
I can see so many more things we didn't talk about. But we're good. I hope everybody enjoyed this.
Yep. Thank
we
you.
will see you again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
On our podcast.
Uh-huh.